We get on them all the time at shopping malls, airports, and businesses of all kinds, but riding an escalator, especially improperly, can turn into a life-changing experience.
Tonight, Tom Lydon of the Fox 9 Investigators is looking into those dangers.
Yeah, and this is not a new issue with escalators, but I think this is a really awfully good wake-up call. Every year, it's estimated there are 90 billion escalator rides in the United States. And according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, more than 10,000 injuries a year, the vast majority from trips and falls. But as one family discovered, even when you do everything correctly, danger is just inches away.
Moving at 100 feet per minute, it is a crawling, mechanical beast most of us never think about twice.
It happens so fast, it's, literally a blur.
Or just how close to the edge of danger we come.
It's just completely shocking. It's not what you expect.
For the Berger family, it all began at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport a couple months ago, when returning home from a spring break vacation in California. The frightening seconds caught on airport surveillance cameras as the five of them took the escalator down to baggage claim. That's their 10-year-old son, Trig, who midway down the escalator would suddenly scream out for help.
I dropped to the floor of the escalator, and there is his shoe, and in the background I can hear people screaming, and he's screaming, and he can't get his foot out of the shoe, and the shoe is literally kind of being pulled down sideways.
And then was being twisted.
Yeah, and then twisted to the rear. And I just managed to yank his foot out.
Trig escaped with just a minor scratch, but his mother will never forget the sound.
Pop, 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 pop. And it was his shoe being, now that I've seen the shoe, it was the sole coming apart.
According to the police report, the child's shoelaces were tied, but the loops were very loose and floppy. A state inspection 2 days later found the escalator was up to code. A safety device known as a skirt switch stopped the escalator, but not before it mangled his tennis shoe.
So you literally pulled Trig's foot out of his shoe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you hadn't done that?
I'm confident that his foot would have been eaten by that machine.
Yep, absolutely, no doubt.
So the Fox 9 investigators wanted to know just how common are escalator accidents. So we began combing through state inspection records with a fairly basic question. Are these accidents caused by some kind of mechanical failure with the escalator, or are we talking human error?
We examined 65 failed escalator inspections for the Department of Labor and Industry from the last 6 years, as well as reports from Minneapolis and St. Paul, which conduct their own escalator inspections. Altogether, we found 18 accidents with injuries. 8 of those injuries linked to mechanical malfunction of the escalator itself, 10 caused by human error. The highest volume of escalator traffic is at Mall of America, with 9 failed inspections. Earlier this year, a shopper fell when the handrail stopped, but the escalator kept moving. In another case, a child sitting on the escalator steps cut 2 fingers at the top of the escalator. Mall of America tells the Fox 9 investigators the majority of our escalator incidents are due to some sort of misuse, and that it's important to watch young children. Macy's stores in the metro also had 9 failed inspections. Macy's says its escalators are inspected annually and undergo regular maintenance. At U.S. Bank Stadium, it was a drunk man who fell backwards. At Target Field, a man wearing flip-flops lost his balance, and his foot was pinched by the side of the escalator.
Well, we're looking for the spacing on the step to the skirt.
Omar Magana inspects escalators for the city of Minneapolis. Once a year, he will inspect them, looking for a gap between the steps and the side of the escalator. It should be no more than 5 millimeters, or 1/4 of an inch, about the size of a pencil eraser. If the gap's any bigger, escalators must have a brush along the side to let you know you're standing too close. But he says everyone should know what to do if something or someone gets caught.
So to stop the escalator, let's say there was an emergency, you would open this up and then hit that button, and that escalator will stop.
In 30 years of inspecting escalators, he says the biggest problem is people not paying attention. People standing backwards, leaning against the side, looking at their cell phone, or unattended children. Followed by footwear, sandals, flip-flops, Crocs, and dangling shoelaces. Clothes like long flowing dresses or saris can also get caught in the mechanism.
Do you ever see people who are just riding too close to the sides and say, hey, have you ever stopped anyone?
I pause because when I see children, small kids riding the edge unattended, so yes, the answer is yes.
It sounds like that scares you.
I respect escalators a lot.
But it's not like the Burgers were careless or cavalier, riding down that airport escalator with bags and kids in tow. They just never knew how close to the edge they were.
And it's worth repeating, that escalator at the airport came back up to code and was put right back into service. An airport spokeswoman told us they maybe have one incident like this every 3 to 5 years, and that the biggest problem is with soft rubber shoes like Crocs. If there is one takeaway from this story, guys, it is that you should ride the escalator in the middle of the steps with your hand on the handrail. Like the inspector said, you don't have to fear escalators, but you need to treat them with respect.
Yeah, and pay attention to. Can I use that real quick?
My phone?
Yeah, how many times have you seen someone on an escalator like this?
And that's one of the newest factors. That and children. Children really scare the inspectors because they see it all the time. You should keep your child in front of you. Do not have them, I know it's hard to imagine, but don't have them sitting on the steps. It happens, and it's hard to believe, but it does happen.
Yeah, I think all of us can recall when we did see that kind of thing happen. We'll have a different approach from now on. I'll tell you that.
Watch the shoelaces, too.
That too.
All right, thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.